If you listen to Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield, you'll hear some absolutely incredible fills going on, especially in the outro. That's a Tommy Cogbill line. And this one's a little bit in that style. And we've looked at major pentatonic before, but we had a very sort of simple pattern. Okay, just that sort of one octave thing there. What I've got here is a couple of patterns to expand things even more. So let me show you. So we're going to start on G. And we've got two patterns really. This is a very good one to know. It's just a one finger per fret, one that goes from the E to the G. And we can extend up to the next shape. Now at the end I'll show you how to play those all the way, at the end of this little mini lesson, all the way to the end of the fretboard. But for now, let's just deal with that. Now we're going to go to a C7, which we've seen before, and I want to give you this pattern. We've seen that, major pentatonic. Pent because it's 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's why it's called a pentatonic scale. Instead of going to the octave, that is on C, there's your major 6th. 1 fret higher than that, that is your dominant 7th. So this really outlines that really well. It just works really well over these sort of major dominant chords. I'm going to play the bass line for you now and then break it down for you. That bit at the end, that's bending up to that flat 7th. But let's start from the beginning. That's the rhythm. And there we've got our root, there's the G, and the 6 and the 5. And I really do learn and memorize bass lines often based on patterns. So if I just can zero in on that root 6-5 pattern, then it just allows me to learn this bass line with ease. There's your G major pentatonic. You can follow the suggested fingering here, which is basically fingers 1 and 3. You just shift there. Same again. Okay, so on the C now, this is the last bar. And we've got 2 plucks. 3rd finger on the D, 5th fret. And that's a little slide to the 7th fret. Little bit of timing there to get these notes in time. When we get to that note, the A, you got a little bend up a half tone. That's to that flat 7. And then you come back again. So we're playing around with that shape. Okay, now what you can do to practice is in that final bar, you can set up a metronome and you can just play the line and just in that final bar, just go wild. Do a fill based on either this pattern or on the major pentatonic. I'll demonstrate what I might do and I'll break it down. Okay, what was that? So this was the last bar. I'm on the C. And that was the major pentatonic, but I actually was using one of these big patterns down here, if you like. And this is what I really, really recommend that you learn. You have a G major pentatonic scale, which we learnt at the beginning of the lesson. And it's got 5 notes, as I explained. That 6th one is just the first one over again. If you play it across one string, you'll find that there are a series of box patterns that go this way, okay? And that's what we have here. And it's used so much in pop, in rock, in blues, in jazz and funk. You'll hear this scale over and over again. One thing I really, really want to impress upon you is that there are only 5 notes. In this case, G, A, B, D, E, and it repeats those notes in a variety of different patterns. And you will probably find your own little shapes that make sense to you, okay? But so I'm going, if I go from the beginning, could call that shape 1. Came down the other way, that side. That's the next shape. Next one. Next one. And that's the last one, and then we start all over again. I love this pattern. I would also urge you to try and learn it across a string. There are patterns within patterns, and not to bog you down with too much theory, but there's something else that you need to know, which is that every major scale has a relative minor, and therefore every major pentatonic scale, because that's where it comes from the major scale, also has a relative minor. In this case, it's E. So if you start on an E, basically turn the square that's G into E, start on an E, and you'll be playing E minor pentatonic scale with exactly the same notes, E, G, A, B, D. No difference to this you're seeing here. So if you just know that E minor pentatonic and G major pentatonic are related and they contain the same notes, you can actually move that around to different keys. And I tell you what, that's probably the set of notes that I've earned the most money from in my whole career. I use it all the time. It's extremely simple. You can use it for bass lines, fills, especially fills. You can use it for solos, and it works in so many different styles. It's absolutely genius. You'll probably see a lot of the patterns that we've already worked on. You know, there's a root 6/5. Within this, it's all there. A major triad is there. If we start on E, we have a minor triad. We have the root 5, 7, flat 7 octave. It's all in here. So learn a few shapes, and then when you get to that final bar, maybe just slow things down first and explore out of time, out of any constraints of this. Just, you might take the C and then just do, just exploring some of the shapes here. I'm not worrying about getting back and playing this at all well. See, I just ran up the scale. Who cares if I'm missing beats? It doesn't matter. See there, I'm just playing G and then the scale. Just playing the scale. Now obviously, if you want to move up, you've got to do some hand shifts. I urge you to practice your slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs. Those are articulations, and for me, that's the element of bass playing technique that brings kind of cold, theoretical concepts like these scales. It brings those to life. You know, play it with good tone, timing, feel, attitude, and that's really what you're doing. You're understanding what notes sound good and how to make them sound good. Your timing's got to be good, your technique's got to be good. So take these patterns, learn them very slowly, integrate them into your playing. This is a major pentatonic, which works over anything major, and you don't forget that you've got that relative minor. So if you've got anything that's in a minor key, you can use the same shapes but starting in a different place, E in this case, okay?